Welcome back, Juventinita, to the Juventinita, back to Black and White Podcast. I'm Daniel Neger, and I'm live from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And, well, it's been a long time. I needed to do this video, give you guys the catch-up. You know, there's been a contest on. There's been banter back and forth. I've got videos lined up. The vault is full. But I haven't released anything. We've been doing our edits, and, you know, they've been banging for the most part. And just recently, and we had a lot of guests lined up, and it was just a matter of being busy life. Time change is one thing. I was getting pestered for certain people to come on the show. We got them on some, but the time change is just too much. So for my European / Asia and further on, it's probably going to be best that we schedule the weekends. It's just going to be simpler. And for tonight's guest, I was lucky enough to grab someone, obviously Jake Vinciguerra, the best last name on Twitter.
Yes,
And
I agree. Won the award.
Our resident Juve Sassuolo fan. Like I said, the deal's still on, bro, for that Zaza. Like, let's negotiate. It's signed. I got the paperwork.
At some point, yes. Once we're done, once I'm squared away, we're squared away with everything. Maybe, yes.
Yeah, I know it is tough times, guys. It is tough times, you know. But we got it was somewhat lucky ring. I love this beauty. I had to get it, good. Even though we could only get the pinky ring size. You know, they were sold out, but the funds weren't there. Then we got the J Corp necklace. And that pretty much powered me to a Juve Quiz 2.0 final. So thank you guys all who did watch. If you haven't watched, go on Roman's channel at Juve Therapy. First of all, give him a follow, give him a subscribe, and yeah, check it out. It was a really close final. I was actually very nervous. I had a lot of difficulties with my computer. I don't know. I couldn't get onto StreamYard. I got a brand new camera. Mike's pretty much one of the, well-known brands out there. For some reason, it didn't want me to get on, so I just used my iPhone, which was hilarious. So I was nervous for that. And then, obviously, AJ is an incredible competitor. Again, congratulations. I don't think I've done an episode to congratulate him before, but we will have him on. He's been quite busy this week and schedules, again, like I said. And so we'll have him on to talk about how he knows so much. Also about his Kadira addiction, which, again, okay, sure. And, after that, just some holidays and some kind of tough days of no motivation. I don't know why. We've been pumping out the edits. If you haven't checked out BW _circles, check them out. Nilesh has some of the best edits out there in the game. So please check him out. And yeah, we've just been pumping stuff out, but it's just been tough. I don't know. Been going back and forth. Been taking some shit from a few accounts that I've blocked. Sorry, my toilet squeegee. You got too much. You're getting personal, like every single thread we're going back and forth. So I had to give you the block, but we'll see. Maybe I'll change my mind in the future. But besides that, we're going to be rolling. Like I said, the vault is full with videos. They're even exported as well. So I just, I have to upload them. And yeah, this week's going to be pretty busy. We've got about 6-7 guests booked in. Obviously, Jake, I'm lucky enough to have him on tonight to kind of do me a solid. So this episode is probably not going to be a full one. We're going to cover some news. We're going to cover some interesting topics that have been going on Twitter. And yeah, guys, thank you also for the support. I did not expect that Inzaghi post to get as much hype as it did, and the follows that it did, and the retweets. And my YouTube views are skyrocketing. So again, please subscribe. It really does help me in pushing forward more content, motivating me, and because at the end of the day, this is for the love of Juventus. Obviously, I like talking to you guys. I like talking to people I like, good people, as well as just talking about the club and getting whatever it is off my chest. So Thank you for that, and let's keep it up. Maybe we can get those views up to about 100, maybe subs up to 100. Who knows? Sky's the limit. And like I said on my post, it's time for world domination, guys. The chip, like I said, there's gonna the next video you're gonna see. The chip is on the shoulder, and we're coming after some people. So, but
Boy.
I'll leave it at that. Anyways, now let's get into it. News. There's been a whole bunch of bullshit that just keeps swirling. One thing that I do hope that happens is Douglas Costa getting offloaded. It would be nice, but again, all these rumors, these little whispers from all these so-called gurus that are journalists that are somehow being praised, who people like, who people don't like. Every week there's a new name, but obviously Douglas Costa, like I said, when you hear it from me, one thing, it's not going to be you're not going to be the first person hearing it from, and two, if it's something that's from DiMarzio or Romano, I'm just here to relay the rumors to you guys. So again, take it with a grain of salt. It doesn't mean shit. My saying is, until they're holding up the jersey and the contract signed, that's the only guarantee that I'm giving you. So,
Yep.
Douglas Costa offers from Qatar and China. I don't know about that. DiMarzio, that's what he thinks. Also, Suarez, it's looking like it's not going to happen. This whole Italian passport
The
saga
test.
bullshit test. He's going to take the
Oh,
exam this day. He did take it. He failed it. He's posting on Instagram.
yeah,
Fuck,
saying
guys,
he's
I
gonna
don't know what the
say
fuck's going.
it's
I don't know
weird.
what's going on. So, Jake, what do you think about the Suarez? Did you want him in? Um, there was three reports, and we did go back and forth. A
Mhm.
whole bunch of us on Twitter.
Yeah.
Again, we didn't take it personal. We just debated. Some guys like it, some guys don't.
Mhm.
10.5, 11 was 10 to 11 was the contract for 3 years. Then it was a 2 year with
With
the
an
three
option.
plus. Yeah, so there was a
Yeah.
few kind of things going back and forth. So what did you think of the whole situation?
Yeah, I thought it was all weird in the first place because when it first came out, when Pirlo was a coach, it was he needs a guy that can hold up the ball and get it to Ronaldo, open up space. And when I think of that, I don't think Suarez. I think Suarez is a guy you want in the end of chances. And I
Yeah,
think, which I've been saying on Twitter, if anyone follows me, is Dzeko. Because Dzeko is one that can hold the ball up. He's huge. He's like, what, 6'5"?
yeah, he's a big boy.
2-footed. I mean, and he was basically Roma's only player last year since Zaniolo was hurt. Mkhitaryan didn't really live up to those expectations, but and also the salary, what, 11 million, like you said, for Suarez, way too high. It doesn't make any sense to cut Higuain to then get someone that costs more. It makes more
Yeah,
sense to me to cut Higuain and give that same salary to someone that can do more than Higuain. You know, you're basically because Higuain's not the type. We've
yeah,
seen him try. He can't be a target man. He can't hold someone off. He can't bring a ball down like Dzeko can to the same
yeah,
extent, which is still weird because if it was up to me, maybe try and bring back Mandzukic because cheaper,
yeah.
maybe,
True.
but I don't know.
I
I didn't want Suarez because I don't like Suarez. He's declined massively over the past couple years. If this is 5 years ago, sign me up.
yeah.
But now I think Suarez has passed it when it comes to what we're trying to achieve, our level. I think Ajax suits him a bit better.
Yeah, and then in that case, you're paying way more money, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it's
like
and then what? So there was that, and then there was kind of I want to say they wanted to do a 6.5, and then there's options, bring it up to 10.
mm,
So then there was kind of some acceptance, maybe a 2 year deal, and then at the end of the day, they threw out the compensation numbers, and I believe it was like 3 plus 13. So you're looking at a 16 million
yeah,
buyout, and then you're paying the guy like 10. Because I
yeah,
mean,
for
we don't
three
we don't know what we
years.
don't know what clauses they're throwing in, right,
Mm,
guys? So
it could
we
be
don't know
something
how
stupid.
easy. Well, exactly. They could be really easy to hit.
Yeah,
But
like one
I mean,
million for not biting anyone for him,
yeah,
like stuff like
exactly,
that.
exactly. So I think it was. I think we should just. I agree with you. What the tough thing for me is I didn't think we needed like an out of the world number 9 because I still want
Mm,
to see Dybala up there as a false on the web.
yeah,
But we still needed, I think, someone. But like the players that are out there just costing to me too much. Like Dzeko, I think is a good player, but I don't know what the final numbers are going to be.
hmm
Um, but I think it's just still a lot of money. especially where I know we're going to get into it obviously with De Sciglio, but looking at what we could have done there if we don't have to spend so much up top, maybe in the midfield. I know it's a tough market, guys. I'm the first one to tell you, finances, finances, finances. That's pretty much like I don't want to say I was the first one, but at the end of the day, I didn't think it was going to be a crazy mercato because COVID, what we're not bringing in financially in terms of ticket revenue and I think you could say even merchandising's down because a lot of people aren't working. So a lot of these things that they're pushing out are not going to even be hitting as big as they are. Again, Cavani was pushed again for your guys' reference. The news is going to be about from the 10th till today. So again, DiMarzio was saying that he was also in talks with Atletico Madrid. Surprisingly, didn't end up at Benfica. I heard it was a contract.
Yeah, I thought he was done. I swear, like a couple months ago, when I saw that come up again, I was like,
yeah,
I thought he was already there.
I thought it was locked and loaded.
Yeah.
So that was news to me. Then we're going to be having 5 subs as usual. That's been confirmed for next season, which I think is going to help us now that the games are spaced.
Yep.
And I think Pirlo should really utilize that and get the best out of our players. Hopefully that stays the same in Champions League. That draw is coming up, and I can't wait to see who we got.
Oh yeah.
So we'll see what happens with that. In terms of Higuain, it's looking like it's pretty much that we've parted ways with him. Obviously, the reports that I'm reading are a little bit older. So yes, we have departed with Higuain. Obviously, I put up my little tribute edit to him. And I think just a reliable player when you think of him in terms of the goals against Inter and Napoli. But like you said, he is getting of age and he can't really perform at the same level. Some people were saying the contract or the transfer wasn't worth it. I tend to disagree. I think he's put in a lot of work for us as a club. Yes, the fee was kind of astronomical at the time.
Yeah.
Should we have gotten rid of him maybe a couple years ago? Yes, but did anyone really want him? That was kind of the thing, right? And we had to offload him to first he went to Milan and then he went to Chelsea or Chelsea and then Milan, whatever. So again, he was getting to a level where he wasn't as prolific. So I'm not shocked at all. But it was the right time. Unfortunately, we had to do it the way it was.
Yep. Severance pay, right? I think it's like I saw $3 million or something, half the salary, the remaining salary.
And we just get into this cycle again. So we did that with Matuidi. Now we've done it with Higuain. It's looking like Khedira's wrapped up. I mean, again, so
I trust Agresti.
Take that with a grain of salt because there's been I've seen about 3 or 4 reports saying, yes, he's accepting half of his salary now. He's like halfway into September. Now he's accepting 3 million or whatever that may be. If it was 6.5, 3.25 million. I don't know about that.
Did we pay Matuidi off, or was he just like, no, don't worry about it? That was really fast.
No, I think it was definitely a termination. Really? So I guarantee you they would have paid him. I'd have to go look it up, but
same here.
I think he was only getting paid like 3.5 million or something.
Yeah, so it was like, I was surprised how fast it was.
It wasn't a lot of money. I mean, at the end of the day, something like I said, you got to cut your losses, and if like when you're on your last year, that's why Pogba next year. I mean, technically, if he doesn't do anything, entices me because when you're in that last year, you're at their mercy. You're at the players' mercy, and you're at other clubs' mercy. So at the end of the day, I mean, if he wants to go to Real Madrid or whatever might happen in January, I mean, that's possible now for nothing. So
yeah, we saw with Eriksen just this past season.
Yeah, exactly.
20 million.
Exactly. So I mean, for us, De Sciglio's now getting brought up again. Agresti was talking about who's going to get dropped from the UCL list, whether that be De Sciglio or Pellegrini. To me, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah,
De Sciglio, easy.
Yeah.
Barring injuries, right? Because
Mhm.
we don't know what's going to happen. We play Samp on the 20th, which is in 5 days. Again, guys, check out the previews that are going to be coming up. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. We're going to have to wait and see. I like kind of how we're sitting with the fullbacks. I still don't like Cuadrado. I was in the thread before we got on,
Yeah.
like kind of a couple hours ago, but I still don't like Cuadrado at right back. He's way better at his right wing position. He offers way more. I mean, but we have no choice. So
Yeah, I think the wingback
it's
roles suit him a lot better because Conti did play him in that role. He doesn't have as much defensive duties when he's in that wingback role, so
so
unfortunately he's our only at least right-sided
yeah. Well,
player
if
that
we
can
do three, if we do
cross in that position.
yeah, if we do 3-5-2, it gets a little bit better because you were doing what Sarri was instilling
Yeah.
by dragging Alexandro back as
Mhm.
that third. So that's essentially what you're doing in the three
Yeah,
five two,
and you
and
have the left
it
midfielder
gives
kind of covering
so the
more.
right side he's more of a right mid than a right wing
Yeah,
back. Now I don't know if that's what we're gonna play. Maybe we do 3-4-3. I don't know.
yeah, who knows?
There's still a lot to figure out. I mean, we play that game against Novara, and I mean you see some stuff, but
Yeah,
it's
it's
nothing.
nothing like,
You
it's
know,
friendly at the end of the day.
I mean,
No?
we didn't do as bad as Milan going down 2-0. I mean, that's one thing, but we'll
Yeah,
see
I
what
mean, like,
happens.
what happened when
Mark,
we went down 2-0? Well,
well,
went up 2-0 against Milan.
touche. Touche. But the market's still going to be open till obviously October 5th. We play Samp on the 20th. That'll be the later game as always, but we'll get into that in a few games time. Obviously, for right now, we have Kulusevski in, Artur in, McKennie in, Pellegrini in, technically speaking.
Mhm.
And then obviously Pjanic, Romero, which I didn't like that. I didn't like getting rid of him.
I remember,
Obviously,
yeah.
that just means that Rugani is not going to be moved.
Yeah, I
Now,
guess what I was thinking is like something with like registration, like requirements. I know like the UCL in the league, you're supposed to have like X amount of players homegrown in the nation and stuff like that. Like who knows?
you know what
I,
kills me?
I'm
We talk about this, right? And you
mhm.
said it perfectly. We got to follow these numbers. You got to have X amount of Italians, X
Yeah,
amount of this. You can only have so many foreign players being outside of the EU.
yeah,
And then you have Man City that go on and break FFP whenever the hell they
yeah,
want, spend 150,
yeah,
a billion, and then all of a sudden it doesn't matter. But
yep,
because you can't, now we're restricted to certain players. So again, guys, I
yeah.
don't know.
No,
Calcio does my head in sometimes. But then obviously Perin's gone, Pjanic has gone, Matuidi, Romero, and obviously now Higuain. Hopefully Khedira can be on that list. I will celebrate. We're gonna have edits out the ass that day. I'm gonna make sure of it. At least 5 edits of Khedira
pop
out.
the champagne.
Yeah, exactly. We got the champagne cooled right in the fridge and behind this computer, so we will be live streaming that.
Oh
but
gosh.
anyways, it's looking now from what like I said, these prophets who, in my opinion, a lot of people have been getting praised because they've brought certain people on their show, and that's great. I mean, it's always to kind of bring someone who's at those levels of followings. But to me, a lot of these guys, and there's a certain guy, and I think all of you know Momblano, is seeming to just throw things into the wind nowadays and seeing if it catches.
Well,
And
he has that 88.5% chance or whatever number he wants to throw out during that time.
well, it's like
He's in
what
the
was it?
know.
Anchorman. 60% of the time
Yeah,
works all of the
yeah,
time.
yep.
So I
I
don't
mean,
know, guys. Like, come on. Like, fuck.
it's
Like,
so.
there's one thing in like if maybe you got a tip or whatever, but
Mhm.
it's like the shit he's been putting out. Like, we have no problem signing Messi.
Yeah, well, remember
Really,
last summer, when he's like,
really?
yeah, there's a, like, he went on, was it IFTV? I forget who, what, or I forget what their name is.
Yeah,
He went on
probably.
their, yeah, he went on their podcast. He listed out like 10 different things. Like, I
Oh
think
yeah,
just got the one right, and it's like, okay, like, yeah,
guys,
we're gonna go and sign.
you gotta realize it's a sniff that they're getting that to me it doesn't even if sure it's gonna get clicks, it's gonna get retweets, people are going to go crazy over it, and then you get the occasional 1-2 right where you get the Ronaldo, like it's the compounding effect of getting the Ronaldo right and whatever else he got right.
Allegri getting sacked, which I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
most of us called anyway in the middle of the season.
exactly. So it's those two compounding with like everything else that he gets. Oh, well, this guy, so now he gets a following, and I could say the same about Agresti. I mean, Agresti's been more correct, if you want to say that, than some of the others. I don't get this, and it's in the culture today. You're gonna hear about it probably in the next episode. Me bitching about it. That's gonna be a whole other kind of episode, but it's like, why? And again, this episode, guys, just for frame of reference, is gonna be after, actually a little while after the next two episodes. So just frame that in your head, by the way. And but yeah, it's like you hear Giroud getting thrown. I didn't even mention that. Giroud gets thrown out.
That, yeah.
Like, come on, guys. Like, is it a slow news day? Like, really? Really? I don't know.
Yeah, pretty sure you get the Matri rumors back.
And then, Keane. What did you think about Keane? I don't know if I've heard your opinion.
I like Keane a lot. I really do. I think the move was necessary last summer to bring in that, because I mean, who's going to turn down 30 million for a player that barely got any time? I mean, we're after De Ligt, so that 30 million basically is a freebie. Like, I think that was a no-brainer to take that 30 million, because worst case scenario, he doesn't do that well in England, and you can
got the money.
You get the money, potentially bring him back for a hell of a lot cheaper, and to a place he's more comfortable with and does better. So it's one of those. I like the move because of that. I hate to see him go, but I understood the finances to bring in a generational talent in De Ligt. It made sense. In the end, I think it's a win. And even if we do bring him back, hopefully it's for a lot cheaper. I see it as a win. I love the move. But I hope, he gets things going with Carlo.
Yeah. And I think like it's tough because like his attitude, like I've had a problem with that. Like the whole racism thing happened, right? The Cagliari events happened, and it was wrong on their side. So you give them, I was a little bit more on the side of, yes, okay, you should make a stand, but you're kind of inciting the fan. Okay, that's fine. Give him the benefit of the doubt on that one. Then you start hearing stuff with the Azzurri, not making practices, the stuff with Zaniolo. Then obviously you heard some stuff, I believe, happen at Everton as well. He wasn't kind of jiving
COVID,
there.
I think. The behavioral stuff,
so that's kind of, it's like, I don't know if we, like, again, it depends on what the numbers are. At the end of the day, that's my motto at the end. So if the numbers are good and we can get him in, that's someone who you could slot in on the bench to come in and prove himself.
Yeah,
like he did when we had him with Allegri. But
I think
we'll see what
goal every other game, something like that.
Oh yeah, it was almost like
nice.
It's almost like that Kadira statistic where we every game he played we won. And every game he was out,
I still think about that hat trick that he got against Udinese. We're down 10 men.
Lord have mercy on her. Fuck. Anyways, man. Obviously, John Elkann talking to Sky. He was kind of, he mirrored a little bit of what he was saying. I don't know if we take this out of context or not, but he says, when you won 9 Scudetti in a row, winning number 10 is our goal. It's tough, but we have a new manager who knows what it means to win. I mean, I think he's got a little bit more problems at what's going on at Ferrari. He needs to, should pay attention
I've heard about
to. But I mean, it's going to be the goal, obviously, but Champions League, come on.
Yeah, 20 years later.
Maybe that was what it was framed. I don't know. I didn't hear the whole interview, but anyways, I think Tudor and Baronio. I think Baronio are going to be, great additions. Just seeing them in the different photos and during the training videos. I think they're going to be instrumental helping Pirlo kind of shape the team and, keep them mentally in check. I think that's something that we can all say has been a problem the past 2-3 years. A lot of guys checking out. And then we have this game against Nevada. So what shout out. But what do you think about the 5-0 win?
Well, I really like McKinney, and I was saying even before that. I think everyone looked good. I didn't really have any issue with any specific player, but what I really liked was from McKinney, which is exactly what I thought he would do: win the ball back, play a couple long balls, which he doesn't really do often for the national team. But I think he's exactly what we need, especially with the price. I think he's going to work out, especially with Pirlo as a coach. He actually knows what he's doing.
Wow.
Worst comes to worst. Well, I meant how a midfielder should be. But worst comes to worst, we don't play him, and we pay what, 3 million?
Yes. Yeah.
Who scored? I didn't see. I don't remember.
Exactly. So it was Ronaldo, Ramsey, Piazza, Portanova scored 2 goals. So it was 5-0.
And in extra time, right?
Everyone was like Portanova's their favorite striker.
Yeah, it reminds me of who was it? Favilli and
exactly.
one friendly.
Exactly.
Yep. Oh man.
You're just like, okay, sure.
No, really liked how McKennie played. Really, really liked that. He actually looked like he well again it's Navarra, but hopefully get some time against Sam, some competitive games. But no, he's the one that impressed me the most. That's all I can really say.
Yeah.
I really hope he works out.
Again, like I said, it was good to see some of the new faces. Obviously, McKennie, Kulusevski, even some of the younger guys, like you said, Piazza, obviously in the squad.
For those injuries.
That'll probably be plus Valenza. But again, no injuries. Again, you saw a lot of energy, and because for me, it was more of just I guess Juventus TV. I didn't pick it up live, but because you have that J1897, you get access to that JTV. So apparently, live it didn't work because
I heard there was
Roman was going off.
Horrible. Yeah, I saw that. That's right. Yeah, he was like, it was about the cuts or something. It was just like you couldn't really see anything going on. Was it
something like that?
Because
Juve, pick up your shit as always.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get into that.
Yeah, but obviously in terms of McKennie, Berhalter, the U.S. coach, men's coach, said he's got huge potential. You'll love him, positive attitude, and to me, it's like it was kind of like a trap card when that deal came in. Obviously, no one knew what the hell was going on.
Yeah.
And when I see 3 million plus, it was like 3 plus 18, I think.
Yeah.
And when I see that number, I'm like, this sounds like a Plus Valenza deal.
Yeah.
So who knows? I mean, maybe that's what the kind of end goal is, kind of build them up, because a lot of our talent is really worthless. Again, I said it last 2 years. The value of all of our players, and that's our problem. The value of all our players has gone to shit, and you can't sell anybody. And then really, you're just dead weight, and you're stuck in perpetual freeze. So basically, we're in a bad situation that way, and it's on. To me, it's on Allegri, it's on Sarri. Yeah. Because now it's the second year in a row. But I think...
yeah, I mean, if you think about it, worst case scenario, like you said, it's one of those deals where we make a big profit.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, it's not that bad, in my opinion. He does really well, and because Southampton were after him, I believe. Some English clubs like, hey, you have an American that's a midfielder who's doing well. We'll give you $35 million for him.
Yeah. That's what I mean. So
can't be mad. Can't be mad.
Yeah, no, definitely can be used as in the future. That's for sure. A lot of fans have been liking, obviously, what Pirlo has been saying, and kind of knows what he signed up for. Obviously, some comments after. I'm the coach of Juventus. It's normal that anyone who comes here is expected to win. I know I have to win. It's like it was like that as a player, and it'll be the same as a coach. Obviously, commented on Artur, McKennie, and Kulusevski. Sorry, I forgot to mention him. He also featured in the match.
Yeah, I remember that.
So, at the end of the day, I think it was a good performance in the sense that, shake off the rust. It's going to be weird with coming back now into a full season. Everybody got some looks, and
Yeah, some had
keep
national team matches too.
exactly. Just to briefly touch on that, I hadn't planned on talking about it, but because now I just remembered how everyone was livid about Italy's performances, which I don't understand because we were flying so high when we qualified, and then we had nothing. COVID happens.
Yeah, for like months and months and months.
And then everyone thinks we're gonna
season.
go. Yeah, everyone thinks we're gonna go into this Bosnia game and just smash them for whatever reason.
Not a Bosnia's not a bad team if you look at it really. Like they're a tough team.
Massive overreaction to that game. And then a pretty good. I mean, hey, Netherlands is not a team that Holland's not a team that you can slip up against. I think they have some dangerous players.
Definitely.
Whatever you think about VVD is
getting bodied by Barella.
Put that in the comments. But
getting absolutely dunked on.
But it's like, what can you do, right? We get the 1-0 win. Guys get some experience, you hope, and it's going to be interesting because I was almost kind of not annoyed, but I wasn't too happy about them playing games because you want to give them some time. Like, if let's say you take away that weekend, it gives them a little bit more time to rest because we've had such a tight season. So it's kind of like, come on, FIFA, do you want to, or UEFA, do you really want to be scheduling like 2 fixtures in between? Whatever, we're over with that. It seems like everybody's back and fit. Obviously, Dybala and De Ligt are still out, which are keys. But Piazza showed some good signs.
I like him. It hurt me when he got those 2 knee injuries.
Somehow some Italian reporters were throwing Milik back into the picture for whatever reason.
Oh yeah, I think I see some of that. But
again, don't know why. The thesis obviously was approved, and as of what was it yesterday, he passed his exam and presented his thesis and got his UEFA Pro license. So we are good to go, ladies and gentlemen. All systems go. Time for takeoff. So we are ready for the first game of the season. Pirlo's going to be on the bench because I know there was some speculation if he didn't get it done in time, was Baronio or Tudor going to be the main guy, but that's obviously taken care of. And, Marquisio with some comments about Pirlo. We'll get into that. Pirlo, it will be his first experience on the bench, but he has an excellent staff at his disposal and will be able to grow from game to game, and then his professionalism and experience to manage Juve's dressing room. I read a lot about Suarez, but I saw Bosnia's last game, and Dzeko made a good impression on me too. Whoever arrives will still be a great striker. So there you go. Just some comment. Obviously, that was during the international break there. And speaking of Khedira, like I said earlier, hopefully this motherfucker can go. I mean, there's been a lot.
I can't believe they extended him in the first place.
Yeah, I mean,
that was a Allegri move. Yeah,
boneheaded moves lead you to shooting yourself in the foot 4 years down the line. And I mean, they keep saying it's going to be solved in a short time. Others are saying there's been no progress at all. I don't know what to believe. Hopefully he's gone, but it's going to be at some reduced rate. I'm assuming.
Yep.
If not at the full rate.
I was hoping someone like Stuttgart would come pick him back up again. But
we think, right? But then they know, like I said, when clubs know, when they smell blood, it's game over.
Yep. Just waiting.
They'll just sit there and wait, and then I think they can potentially sign after the window. Once you cut them of their deal, they can sign pretty much anywhere at any time. So, really, at that point, when they know, you're not getting any money at all. So, De Sciglio, obviously, an offer came in from Roma, from what again we've heard, but who knows? Tutto Sport is Tutto Sport. Tutto Juve. There's Calciomercato. All these different names, you hear these different stories, and then now Dybala's creeping back in. That's another thing.
Another contract renewal saga I saw, about the fourth one.
And you wonder why I hate this bullshit fucking transfer season so much. It's literally like back and forth nonsense. Are we keeping this guy? Apparently, we're keeping Fagioli. Um, he's going to be kept apparently from Jova Albanese. I don't know. We'll see what happens, especially with Juve kind of dragging ass with their financials. I know they said they put up a draft. I believe that was about a week ago, and I definitely want to get my hands on that. We'll definitely be doing an episode on that. Let's see what happens with our finances. It seems like June is the magic time for Juve. We like to leave it to the last minute and then start firing away.
Yep.
Because I guess
That's
UEFA
wise.
allows us to do it. So, Plus Valenza FC t-shirts coming soon. Juventinita brand t-shirts coming soon. J Corp t-shirts coming soon. And I'm not joking. That's coming soon. But so guys, we've covered where I've been. We've obviously talked about the bullshit media. We've talked about Novara Juve. We kind of got into it on Twitter about Marotta and Paratici. Now, it was kind of out of left field, because I was surprised that Al was apologetic about Paratici. Now, my whole stance on it was this, and it kind of got construed, and everyone thought I was trying to dig into say that Marotta did a better job. That wasn't the case. I'll state my case now. To me, they both did a shitty fucking not a shitty job, but they both put us into this hole because they were both there at the same time. Whether you want to say that Paratici had, kind of my thing was, okay, well, Marotta brought us from the grave to here, being the main man. And then, obviously, in 2018, he goes. And Paratici's left to pick up with a squad that you could say is Champions League winning caliber. So, whether you want to say that one guy was worse, the thing that pissed me off the most was he was getting too much blame. Now, Paratici, just off on the record right now, if you want to give up your position at any point because it's too difficult or you're getting too much criticism, hand the keys over, boy. I'm good to go. I'll be on the next plane.
Oh man.
I'll be on the next plane. So for me, it's like, what do you mean he doesn't get enough criticism? We've been for 3 years now looking at a situation where we can't sell our players. We look at some of the stupid deals. Obviously, he was part of the Sari, bringing in Sari.
Yeah. Yep. I think it was by him and Nedved, right? Or
exactly.
Yeah.
So that was obviously not first choice. Sure. To me, either or had their flaws. Either or, Juve's still in the same position as they are. It doesn't change the fact saying you feel that Paratici gets too much stick. I think he's got to get more. You got to keep giving this guy stick till he gets it right. When you keep continually, making these, you knowing that you're in a Plus Valenza rotation every year, and you're saying, well, it was signed by so and so. And then there was the Ronaldo thing too, which I'll get into. That'll be my next one. You got to find ways. It's your job. You got to do whatever you got to do to get rid of these players. You can't use the excuse. And then it's like, well, Agnelli would never allow someone to say you can't bring in Ronaldo. And I'm like, okay, well, if you're going to use the Agnelli excuse in everything, technically Agnelli's the sole creator of all of this, so he's technically to blame for all of the mistakes and vice versa. To me, Paratici needs to focus on clearing out, and he's got to get the job done. We've got to be smart, like you said. Maybe the Weston thing is a ploy. If it works out really well for us, we're going to get a player that's going to be good for whatever, a year, 2 years, that we can flip and maybe get 50, 60 million or whatever the case may be to help us out. Because this COVID is not going to just take this year.
Yeah.
It's going to be next year, possibly the year after that, or the next 2 seasons, following this one. So we got to be smart. We got to really dial down contracts. We got to sign the players we need. And, even the fact with the Dybala situation, it's like, it's been a year and a half.
Mhm.
How
Yeah, and
is
we had the
how is
whole
that still a
saga
thing?
last summer.
And exactly, and they wanted to get rid of him because they knew they can make money off because he's really the only value you have at the club. And I mean, I would have been shocked if there was talks of even getting Ronaldo last year, getting rid of Ronaldo last year. That would have shocked the hell out of me. But to me, I think they've both made a hell of a lot of good decisions. I
Mhm.
think they've also both made a hell of a lot of bad decisions. But I don't think you could say Paratici's gotten necessarily more criticism than one or the other. So that was kind of more of my idea was like, yeah, they deserve both a slap on the wrist for a lot of the shit they've done and put in the positions. I don't think I could say one is worse than the other, to be honest. What are your thoughts, buddy?
Yeah, well, from what I was coming at with that stance was because it kind of bugs me because like a lot of people keep bringing up that Cancelo deal. Um,
Dude, I didn't even
like
mention.
yeah, so like like anything like we're linked to someone, and I always see it's like oh like Tichi's so dumb. Like why are we doing this? And it's just like well like check the sources first.
Yeah.
Look who's reporting it. Think for a second. I feel like my issue is like how quickly people just jump the gun to like, no, we're stupid, we're doing this, and like 99% of deals don't happen. It's like, why are you stressing yourself out? Why are you stressing everyone else out? Because
Yeah.
like you said, I think they get a decent amount of praise. A lot of people, for some reason, criticize like the McKinney deal. A lot of people are criticizing for some reason. I don't fully understand that. Like
I think it was just so far out of left
yeah,
field that everyone was just in shock of
yeah,
who's
and
this
like
guy and
I think, like I was saying before, like, I brought up to you about the consecutive seventh place finishes. A lot of
yeah,
people, they say, like, oh, like, when people say he hasn't done a thing right, it's like, I think you forget, like, what he did on Morata's team,
yeah,
because we could easily be in a Banza era. But I also think, this summer we're focusing on moving things, but we're also actually held to FFP because I don't see English teams doing this stuff. I don't
yeah.
see PSG doing this stuff. And look what happened with Milan and Inter.
Well,
So like
no,
we're
I think if anyone's gonna get put to the sword, it's an Italian team.
yeah,
So
that's
you
what I'm
you
saying.
you you
Yeah.
definitely don't want to go down
Yeah, so
those
like,
roads.
it sucks, but like that's the reality of it. We have to do this. We have to do this flipping, this financial doping
Yeah,
because the rules don't apply to the other big teams. But when it comes to a team from Italy or a lower team in France, all of a sudden now, now
yeah.
all of a sudden the rules matter.
See, the only thing I disagree with that seventh place, he was technically
Mm,
part of the team. It's like, okay, when you're the principal of the school, you're making you're the big man on campus, right?
yeah.
Sure, you could have had someone who's the assistant, then
Mm,
maybe, after so many, he goes to another school, whatever, he got a better contract, he got a better salary, whatever it is. He wants to start a brand new school that's being built. And now your assistant comes in and now they're the big man. Now they're the principal. Marotta was, I would say, oh, I mean, I don't know what the workings are. This is all,
yeah.
speculation and what I think, right? My opinion. It could be completely wrong. It could be completely false. But to me, he was you look at the deals with, the free transfers
Yeah.
and just the way we didn't spend too much and we didn't, and, you look at the chart of our net, profit or our net,
Mm,
revenues and costs, how they went up slowly, slowly, slowly. That was because of the way that Marotta instilled his kind of style. And, obviously we had to rebuild one thing because we were in the grave. But, slowly, slowly, slowly from no profit to green, 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 green. And then it's kind of come over. Now, obviously, when you bring in Ronaldo, you're going to bring in more costs.
hmm
You're going to bring in more revenue, but you are going to bring in more costs. Yes, Ronaldo fans, that is a thing.
Yeah.
Keep looking it up. But when so you kind of expect it that year, and then obviously COVID, so maybe you give a write off for that. But you can definitely see there's two different philosophies. I think the reason now, okay, this is my theory. A lot of guys were ribbing Marotta because he's at Merda. Let's be honest. Call a spade, guys. I'm a little true in saying that because if he wasn't, let's say he just left the club and he was somewhere else,
Mhm.
I don't think there would have been that comparison, and there wouldn't be this much
Yeah, I
you know,
agree.
because we're like we're going 1-2 now. That's kind of why the chit chat is there. That's
Well,
kind of I mean, a little bit more of the vitriol towards Marotta and kind of a little bit with defense with Paratici is because
yeah,
even Vidal, people were like going into Vidal. I mean, I'm sorry, like
I don't like.
I don't know what it is. People get a little bit too. With Conte was like again whatever he's got to say what he's got to say. I don't know.
Yeah, but like I also feel
I'm
like
not in that same
you
level,
know
but
Conte's getting paid what, like 15 million a year to
yeah.
coach them. Like, I mostly believe like, yeah, he went for that payday because
Oh yeah,
it'd be
for
dumb.
sure.
But also in terms of like, we're talking about costs. I think the stadium helped a lot because when you
Yeah,
look at when Jay Stadium opened up, and
true.
then I think what we gave to Allianz, when 3 seasons ago, 2 seasons ago.
Was like a re-up. Yeah,
Yeah, so I don't know, and it's interesting. Again, you bring up like when we bring in someone like Ronaldo, there's obviously going to be that,
yeah. It's
start going to the
understandable.
red, like you said, yeah. But no, I think it's really interesting. It's a really interesting, like, situation you're looking at because when I think of, the red that we get into, that's normal,
Yeah,
oddly enough, because, you look at, again, not the best
fair
example,
play.
but United, they're massive debt, Barcelona, Real, like that's just a thing that happens when you're that successful.
Well,
But
the one thing I want to say just before you finish
mhm,
is what kind of is being thrown around like this Barcelona. So Juve has, I would say, maybe not as much, but we still have around 400 million financial debt.
yeah,
So that's the bond, the reissuance. Obviously, when we diluted the shares, that brings in some money. But then when you do certain structuring deals, and then obviously the wages got cut. So again, don't kid yourself that Barcelona, they have the debt, but they do bring in a lot more than we do. So that's one thing.
yeah.
I know people were like, "There's no way Barcelona could sign Dybala." Don't kid yourself; they could sign
Yeah,
Dybala.
I mean, they signed Griezmann and
Yeah,
Dembele. Like,
everyone's jumping on this because they like they like to jump on the Barcelona train because they
mhm.
want to diminish how bad we were in a sense. And that's why everyone was clinging on to that Barcelona train was because it made them feel a little bit better that Juve had someone that was a little bit worse than they were.
Mhm.
So that's
Well,
my opinion on
you
why they
know,
did that.
I think more of, again, like with the governing body,
Yeah.
and again, they definitely give passes to these other teams. And I feel like with us in the league, of course, there's always that, like, I'm sure they're always like, hey guys, so
Yeah.
you're 50 million over. And they go, oh yeah, but PSG, and hey,
Yeah.
shut your mouth.
Exactly. You
Like,
said it best, man. You said it best. Last thing we'll get into before we cut this off. Um, which has just been coming. Obviously, the Roma speculation of him going has now all of a sudden brought the MDS fan club out. Everybody wants MDS to say the Shilio's got to stay. What the hell's going on? He's not that bad. Yes, he is. I'm sorry, guys. We need if it's 10 million, we got to take that 10
mhm.
million. I somehow forgot about Pellegrini being on the left back position. I don't know how, but I did. So yeah, he's really on the third string.
Yeah, on
Looking in
both
again,
ends.
depending on what you do with injuries, which let's not kid ourselves are possible. Especially with this club and the players that we have, you look at it, Alexandro, MCLs, Pellegrini was out a good chunk last year.
Mhm.
Quadrado has actually not been hurt. I'm kind of surprised.
I'm
And then you
kind of
got
glad, to be
yeah,
honest.
and then you have obviously Danilo, who's had his. Who knows if his
Yes.
head is still recovered after that massive clattering from last year. But so that's what we have to deal with. But yeah, don't take the money. It's time to get the money and go if it's real.
No,
If
I
it's
just want to be clear. Like, I think he's an okay player and good for the bench. But if we have the option to offload him and bring in someone that for position, in a role that is perfect, then yeah, absolutely. No, like I don't love him that much. I don't rate him that highly. I think
But
he's okay.
I do believe I do agree with you, Louis. That was that was a horrible take. That was a horrible take from Bobo the Clown, but I'm not surprised.
No,
I'm
I
not.
like no, like I
Yeah, but
agree with it.
we no, but we got to get our level. Like,
Mhm.
so this is the problem I see, and I want to apologize for cutting you off, but
No, you're good.
we got to get to a point where the level is way higher than what it is. So by keeping him, yeah, sure, you can say he's okay. I think he's just besides the Italy Spain game that I keep bringing up, he's dog shit. He's god awful. Um, so we don't necessarily need, and I mean, if it's going to bring 10, if it's going to bring 5, if it's going to bring 2 million, and we don't have to pay his contract, I'll take
Mhm.
whatever. Give us whatever. Give us, a couple Lamborghinis or something like that. I don't care. Give us something. To say that he's okay for the bench, it's not like, to me, it's more of a, it's like, I'm thinking it in more of a mentality way. Like, if you're saying he's okay for the bench, even if I agree, you can say he's at the third string level. That's not what something like Juve should be aspiring for more than, and you look at other clubs and their fullbacks are still a hell of a lot better than even our second, you know, some say even our first strings. A lot of people have shit on Sandro, but to me, you always got to aspire for greater quality. So to just say he's okay for our bench, yeah, he's injured a lot, but those games I watched, they don't go away.
Yeah, but I mean, like you're talking about these other clubs, and ones that come to mind, I can really think of just Madrid, and City when it comes to quality backups. But at the same time, like they're backups for a reason. It's because they're not good enough to get that starting role. It's someone that's like, okay, we're gonna have you in. You have 30 minutes. Like for example, was it the Fiorentina game where that picture of him behind Chiesa
Oh
smiling?
yeah,
Um, someone like that, I would much rather have someone that is a quality backup. You can bring them on late in the game, shore up the defense. We're not paying them much. I'd much rather have that than have someone that we're paying a bunch because they're really good and their potential is being wasted on the bench. That's
yeah,
just me, and I feel like that's how most clubs do it. Like you think of like Liverpool with Trent on the right, and then
yeah,
after that it's I couldn't name you who, maybe not
yeah. But you
Kieran
got
Gibbs, but like I feel like when it comes to these big clubs, you can't just it's detrimental to your wage and the finances if you have these two starting quality players for the same position because
yeah.
then you're just wasting it. That's me. Of course, everyone's different. I understand your point,
No,
but
but
at the same time,
okay, I see what
I
you're saying.
can't think of a point in history with us specifically, except maybe in the 90s with our strikers. But I can't think of a team really that had this super stacked squad. Like every position, even like the subs, the bench was just world class. I can't think of that. I
Real
just don't think
Madrid,
it's possible. When
tripleta, 3 in a row, 3 Champions Leagues in a row.
Modric, Cruz, Casemiro is one of them, and then Kovacic. But then after that, who was it? You have
For
because
what?
Casemiro came into the end
Yeah,
towards
but
the end of.
you got to remember too. They have
Mhm.
Isco as well, but they could set up the team a few ways. So
Yeah,
it's
but
not like there
even
was always
though
three in the middle. Sometimes they did a 4-4-2.
Yeah, but you think of the defense too in that aspect where you have Ramos and then Varane and then it's Nacho and then whoever they could bring in. Their left back was Marcelo and then
Yeah,
no
Regulon,
one. Well, no, he wasn't during that three in a row. I don't think.
was he not?
No,
I'm pretty sure no, it wasn't Danilo was one of
yeah,
the
Danilo. Yeah, Danilo was like and then same with the right back. It was Danilo and Carvajal, and
yeah.
then the left wing it was Ronaldo, and then who would you put there? Maybe
Well, okay, you're not gonna revolt
yeah,
like that's
yeah, I mean like I'm talking about like the bench. Like I think of striker, you have
no,
Benzema,
but you're
and
thinking
then
I'm talking
it's
to like you need two A1s in that position. I'm not saying that.
hmm.
I'm just saying you want to get rid of there's no need to keep a Deshirio because he's a D1. he's not to me he's like about fourth in line. So at the end of the day, we've got if the way they want to do it now is the way that we have it set, the 2-2.
Mm-hmm.
There's really no need to have DeShilio because he's not better than Danilo, and I don't think he's better. I mean,
Because you're talking about
you could say they're on
okay, I
par.
kind of see what
Yeah,
you mean now. Yeah,
that's what I'm
because
saying.
when I was looking at it, I was thinking because for me, I was like, okay, he can play both sides, and to me, that's more. I trust him on the left more than Danilo on the left.
Yeah,
Let's put it more that way.
but now you're gonna have Pellegrini, right?
Yeah,
Hopefully,
hopefully that's the
barring
interesting
some.
thing. Yeah, and like these are factors like that I try to look at is like he's more versatile than Danilo. I'm sure he's getting paid less than Danilo.
Yeah, that's I think
Like,
pretty
because
obvious.
me, I personally rate him higher than Danilo. Now the
Okay,
more I
see,
think
so
about it,
that's where we differ then.
mhm.
So that's my point. So my
Yeah,
point is, I look at it. Where is he taking the backup role? And I don't
yeah,
see him taking. And to be honest, if I compare him to backups in all of Europe, and like I said, I don't know all the left backs,
mhm.
but I guarantee you he doesn't slot in a majority of the big clubs.
Hey, I mean
That's just
Barcelona
my
were
opinion,
after him at one point, so who knows? There's something about that
bro.
man. That's the only club I can think of.
Juve was
That's the only big club
giving
I can
Tuto
think of, though.
Sword a couple $2 to bring that up.
No, that's the only big club I can think of. But
Them and PSG wanted the Shilio,
oh yeah,
but
that's right, PSG. Yes.
come on, Agnelli. Let's be honest. How much did
Oh,
you give Guido over there? You gave
dude,
him a few bucks. I know you did.
that
I
that
know
was my
you
favorite meme for that one early on in the window. It's like
did. Oh,
Darmian. It's like Darmian being
exactly.
linked all the time with us, and then Inter, and then now he's actually going to Inter. Oh my God.
Guys, it's been crazy. It's still going to be crazy. Like I said, October 5th, we got a long way to go with this shit. And yeah, I think we're just going to wrap it up here. We got about an hour podcast in. Thanks for helping me out, Jake. I appreciate
Dude,
it.
anytime. Yeah, no, sorry, a little bit late notice on my part, but
No,
you
it's
know,
it's it's perfect. We get to tie in. This is gonna come out for you guys as soon as possible. I'm gonna try and get it out as soon as possible, probably tonight. And yeah, thank you guys for all the support. It's been kind of going up and up, and I hope to just keep going up. I do have to say though, there's about 60% of you that watch the videos that don't subscribe, and yes, I know this because I look at my analytics. Please just hit the subscribe. I know you're gonna watch the videos.
help the man out.
Just do me the favor. Like I said, it's 60%. 60%. We could be over 100 subs. So hopefully we can get there. Oh, and about the Del Piero jersey. So that I do have a winner. It has been picked. That weekend I just decided to go out, and like I said, me not being motivated and just not putting out content, and the whole situations that gone on. I'm sure you guys know. Thank you for the dislike squad that's coming around. I appreciate it. I mean, really, on James's video, James is one of the nicest guys. You're disliking his video. Come on, guys. His kids are cute. He finally got his ball from Belgium and with the super snail mail. And but yeah, thank you guys so much. We have actually even edits I've been behind. We got some sick edits in the vault that I have to catch up on. We're pushing more content as well on Instagram, trying to keep up with that as much as possible, trying to interact with you guys as much as I can, even though work's been crazy. And I think this is going to be a really busy week. Expect podcasts often and frequent. And so keep an eye on your obviously your iTunes feeds, your YouTube's feeds. If you got the bell, you guys are gonna have those right away. Same with on iTunes if you're following. Same with on Spotify if you're following. And guys, again with the 5 stars on iTunes, drop a 5-star, drop a comment, drop a rating. Doesn't take that much time, and it motivates me as well as even comments, guys. If you have if I'm saying obviously, I can't remember who it was, but he caught me, and I still probably do it, but I say obviously a lot. He wrote it down in the comments, and I consciously try and not say that because of him. So I do read your comments. I do try and interact as much as I can.
He's like a
And
buffer.
yeah,
You
I
know?
just try and give you guys the best that I can. I know, like I said, we all have busy lives, and this is a passion for me, and I hope to have as many of you guys on as possible. The names we got a lot of people scheduled in, but don't be afraid to hit me up if you want to message me, if you want to come on, whether that be without video or with video, doesn't matter to me. um, and yeah, let's talk culture. There's going to be games coming up. We're going to have some big names inserted, some familiar faces. Obviously, Jake's been on
Yep.
before as well. And when are you picking up that Sassuolo jersey? That 100?
Who knows yet? I'm about to spend, about $500 on a new console, so I have to plan
Yeah,
everything right.
guys, FIFA 21 too. FIFA 21. I want to get in. I always say this every year. I'm going to get involved. This year we're going hard. We're going to bring Piemonte Calcio to Div 1 in Ultimate Team. I'm going to burn my wallet. A big
Oh
hole in my
no,
wallet as always. And
selling the condo.
yeah, exactly. Just if anyone wants to buy this condo, please drop a DM. We're going to be using the proceeds to play Ultimate Team. So,
Fund.
guys, let me know. But as
Oh
always,
man,
guys, thank you guys for the support. Again, all the platforms. But yeah, thanks for the support. I really appreciate it. A lot of kind messages. A lot of people actually understanding of the situation, and we're not necessarily. I don't want to say surprised, but called what it was that was happening out. So, and that's I want to say to be kept in the DMs. But guys, thank you for coming out. Thank you for supporting. You guys are the best. I've said it the last time. Unfortunately, I had to change that video up, but we're gonna get the Club versus Brand series going again. The problem is I have shoes on the way. I got jerseys. When the paychecks come in, I have another brand that I want to bring in to compare all three jerseys to, or the three of the Juve, and then obviously another team, and then I've added a third team I wanted because it displays three different brands, and I think it's gonna show, you know, maybe the difference between where Juve could be or not. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for this week. It's gonna be hectic, like I said. As always, guys. Fido alla fine, Forza Juventus. Ciao, guys. Thank you.
stay safe, everyone.
Yes.